Hey, how y'all doing out there? It's your favorite cousin Chief at GC Radio. And today we're here with Square Ring Magazine, and I am pleasured and honored to have the one and only legendary, renowned Mr. Derek Davis in the building with us today. Mr. Davis, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? I like that intro.
Challenge inspired, bro. Challenge inspired. So a lot of people
Exactly.
don't know. A lot of people don't know. Derek is not only a great guy, man. He's a renowned businessman. He's a content creator, and he has a lot of stuff. He's going to share some things with us today. So, Derek, where are you from?
Originally, man, it's funny. I actually, so originally my family is from South Carolina, the Columbia, South Carolina area. But my dad was military, so I kind of grew up everywhere. I was born in Germany. I spent a good bit of my adolescent years in Fort Riley, Kansas. And then I graduated high school in my hometown of Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, what was life like? What was life like growing up, man? Being a military kid, moving around and adjusting. Because I know you had to be really flexible. You had no choice. Pops had to go. Everybody had to go.
absolutely. So I'll tell you, and I was just talking to my dad about this. I think everything everything about my childhood prepared me for everything that I've done in my life today. Like you talked about the flexibility, being resilient, being able to 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 build new relationships, being open to just new things. All of that I think I got from the foundation of having to up and move. And I think what I get from a lot of people that kind of grew up like I grew, it kind of goes one or two ways. Either they talk about not having roots and they talk about struggling to fit, or you become a chameleon and you're able to kind of blend in and move through every room, and you acquire the skill set to be able to really add to your network and be comfortable in whatever setting you're placed in. So
Man, I wasn't born a military brat, but
mhm,
unfortunately, my parents divorced at a young age, and
mhm,
you're going back and forth. One parent for the holidays, one parent for the summer. Two Christmas. That's the good part of it.
mhm, yeah, of
But
course.
but when you have a mother that's on the West Coast and a father in the Deep South, as a child, man, you get criticized. You have a country accent and you country bunking, and then when you come back to the country, oh, you're a city slicker. You have a city accent. It's like, man, I can't get off the roller coaster. You're like, man, can I just be me? Let me figure out
Yeah.
who I am and just leave me alone. So I know you did going around to military bases in different parts of the country and maybe even different countries. Did you struggle with any of that?
No, I didn't. I actually I enjoyed. I really enjoyed learning new things and being in new cultures, and like I said, I think that is the thing today that has helped me to be able to kind of establish things wherever I am. Because even as an adult, I've lived in different locations and different places, and I credit my upbringing to giving me the skill set to be able to know that okay, when you get to a new place, you got to spread your wings, you got to figure it out.
And you
Hmm.
have to, like you said, be resilient. You have to be creative, and you have to
Hmm.
think on your toes, man. It's kind of like being a military brat and being a kid with two households, man. You really have to be quick on your toes, man.
Yeah.
You don't have that comfortability of like things set in stone. Things could
Hmm.
change any month, any semester. you
Yeah,
got
you're
to get
right.
new friends, learn new teachers, learn your way home around the
Yeah, I'm
city.
telling you. I'm telling you. I'll tell you
But one
a fun.
thing
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, but one thing is definitely it teach you how to adapt. Teach you how it starts your
Absolutely.
survival skills. It starts your spider senses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
So you's about to comment on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just had a funny thought that came in my head. I remember leaving Fort Riley, Kansas, and Probably my first heartbreak, man. I was in love with this girl named Tiffany Smith. She was my. I think I was in eighth grade, and
Uh-huh.
everything was perfect. And then bam, we had to move, and of course everybody had to move on. I had to move on, and I just remember being tore up. Like man, that was probably the most difficult thing because I was like literally in. I was in a situation where I'm 13. I'm thinking this is probably my first love. I'm thinking, oh, this is great. This is perfect. And having to up and move. That was the one time when you asked me was it ever difficult. That was the one time I remember like actually feeling something about having to move.
Man, I have plenty of those stories, man. Gaining crushes and getting crushed before
Yeah,
you get to unite with your crush.
exactly. Exactly. That's horrible.
So, man, Derek, tell us, man. So, tell the people who don't know and Squirrel Magazine land and GC Radio land, because let you know that we have people listening in 132 countries, and this is also on iHeartRadio, Siri, Alexa, Roku, Fire Stick TV, Amazon TV, another 25 internet radio platforms. We're out there, bro. So let them know
Mhm.
what you're doing right now and what's going on.
So basically, I have a company, a management team, a management company called Winner Circle Management Team. And basically, like what I like to say is we're going to be the future of athletics, entertainment. Um, I'm managing athletes, and I'm managing boxers. Right now, just boxers, professional boxers, and social media content influencers. I feel like the two things connect, and I feel like what we'll be able to do as a management team with kind of with globalization, with our global climate, with the internet being global. I mean, you mentioned all of the different platforms and the different countries you can be present in. I feel like there's a direct correlation between the ability to create content, to create to create new brands, to create brand collabs, and sports. And I think in the same way that you've seen athletes combine with musicians and
Mhm.
create a marketing platform or a way to market themselves. You kind of watch Floyd Mayweather position himself beside like a 50 Cent or a Lil Wayne for the purpose of marketing himself in the urban community and just worldwide, with hip hop being such a marketable brand, and adding that value to his fan base. I think we can do the same with content, and I believe that they're kind of one and the same. What you see now, and what I kind of preach to the individuals that are signed to me is that you have to you have to be the people fall in love with the whole individual now, and that's with anything, whether it be sports, whether it be entertainment. um the world is interested in knowing who you are. Then gone are the days of you being able to just show up to the ring, do your thing, or as an artist, show up in the studio and then go disappear for 6 months. I mean, you can do those things if you're ultra talented, but you're leaving a lot of things on the table. It's important for you to understand that you're a brand. I mean, I look at the Kardashians. I mean, they get literally for breathing. They're getting paid to breathe and drink water, and the things that you do normally. They have brand content sponsorships, all types of collabs, and they're getting paid. But then the stuff that they're getting sent is free, and it's the things you need, the necessities in life, and that is truly how you build a multi-million-dollar or $1 billion brand.
Wow. I don't want to be rude, but just let people know the other icon up there without a picture. Unfortunately, the internet is not our friend today. My man from Canada, the one and only Lincoln. Lincoln is in the building with us. Lincoln, you mind introduce yourself to the public for a minute?
Lincoln, a boxing trainer, coach, and manager, and met Derek through Paige actually when they met in Colombia. So I run a
Lincoln,
gym in Edmonton. It's a not for profit. It's been around for about 80 years. So that's pretty much my background. I share the same thoughts as Derek when it comes to content creation and boxing or any type of entertainment with content creation. I think it's important now. So yeah, that's about it.
just to let my people know, Lincoln being a little modest. Lincoln left out that he's a mentor, he's a marketing genius, he's also a one of the key figures at Square Ring Magazine. Lincoln is a lot more than what he turned off to be. He just don't want everybody to bother him because I got the green light to bother him. I call him and text him at any time of day, and he's like, "Damn it, Rob." But Lincoln's a great guy and a father on
Absolutely.
top of that, man. A father and a gentleman. He's a wonderful individual. But Derek, so with the content creating and boxing and things like that, what do we have to look forward now? Like, who are some of the people that you have signed, and what areas are you guys looking to put them in, and what do we have forward to look forward to seeing in the
Well,
talent that you
well,
guys have?
well, I'll speak first about Paige. Paige is Lincoln's son, and I got the opportunity to meet Paige in Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. We were doing I have a fighter who's also signed to me, Macro Hall. He is from South Memphis, and we were the team was out there supporting him, and we were putting on a fight for him. And I took one look at I saw Paige for a few rounds, and was just blown away. I mean, just his ability in the ring. It just there's some fighters that and I'm spending this time on Page because I'm really high on Page. There's some fighters that it's like fighting is like walking to them. And what I saw from him, just one few minutes in the ring, he can switch. He moves like it's just easy. It's natural to him. He's just a natural talent, and he has a big wingspan. He's very tall for the weight. I'm looking at him and I'm saying, wow, this guy's fighting at 118. And but he has the frame that he can go up to middleweight if he wants with the frame that he has. So Paige is one of the fighters that I just recently began to work with, and I'm just very high on him. I believe that uh, just for our brand and for where we want to go, he is that marquee talent that can really cross all of the thresholds and really lead the brand to great places. I really believe in him. But so I got Paige and in Canada, like I said, an amazing talent. Got to spend some time with him and talk to him and just hear his story. Lincoln, like you said, Lincoln is a very modest guy, and I've shared this with him. Um, and through messaging and just through talking to him, that he's done an outstanding job as a father with his boys and with Paige. I don't know his other sons, but like I said, I had the opportunity to get to know Paige, and just being a kid that's focused. I mean, he lives the Spartan fighter lifestyle. I mean, he's up at 5 a.m. He's leading training. I mean, he's serious about his craft. He has, the Adidas sponsorship. Um, he is, uh, he is the epitome of what any boxing brand or company would want in a young talent that's growing. He's just dedicated to his craft, and you see it in everything he's doing. And on top of that, he's funny. He is going to be. Um, you're going to see some really big things from him because he has the opportunity to be in commercials. He's going to have the opportunity to be an influencer. He has that crossover appeal that are like a Ryan Garcia. Um, but he has the skills and he's dedicated to the sport of boxing. And then his he's very structured with his faith. He's just an awesome, was also probably I think our best sign um, as a company. But he is, yeah. I'm really high on him. Lincoln has done a great job pouring into him and making him into what he is. being a father also, and my daughter is a Division I athlete. She runs track. I know the focus that it takes and how much um, grinding and just sharing knowledge and spending that time with your kid it takes for you to get them to that point, to where they are focused and they have their own goals, and you kind of see them blossom into to what you kind of what you envision for them to be as an adult. So Paige is that Paige. We have Macro Hall from South Memphis. Macro is a super middleweight, great fighter. Uh, has a comes from a really rough background. I mean, he is the epitome of what they would say, that getting it out of the mud. His parents weren't in his life. He takes care of his blind grandfather. He's a vegan. He has just a bit. He's very focused on having a brand that means something. Uh, but he comes up from the rough streets of South Memphis. He's had to overcome obstacles to be where he is, and he's a boxer. He's 10-1. We've had the opportunity to keep him busy, and fought him in January. He just fought this weekend. He won a unanimous decision in January, and this past weekend, he got a second round knockout out in Medellin. And so Macro was the first fighter that I signed, and I'm excited about where he's gonna be going also. And then I have a content creator who I've been mentoring since he was 14 years old. He came to me. He calls me dad. I'm His dad was never in his life. Uh, his mom, kind of talked to me about. I mean, me and her, we met through him, and she just said, he started. The story she told is, and his name is his handle is Loaf Boy Pop. Um, he uh, he uh, he came to me and said, "Dad, I want to." At first he was trying to do the military thing because I did that. I'm a veteran, and he's trying to figure out his way. And then he's like, "Dad, I really think I can do this content creating the social media thing." And I said, "Well, son, you gotta be consistent. You got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be. It's not going to come easy." I said, "What you see from like the Kai Cenats, from the Duke Dennis is you see the flair, you see the flash, but there's work. There's a lot of work that goes into building yourself into that person that a brand would want to collab with, and that a brand would want to be excited about." So you have to give people something to fall in love with. And I said, and so you have to be open to like showing your life. You have to post content regularly. Multiple videos a day. You're gonna have to get you get an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours of content. You have to break that up into reels. You have to break that up into shorts. You're gonna have to be on TikTok. You're gonna have to be on Instagram. You have to have a YouTube channel. You need to be on Twitch, because Twitch is where it's happening. And you have to. I always tell anybody that I'm working with in business is, and I read a book about not recreating the wheel. It was about. It's funny. The book I was reading was from my studies in my MPA, and it was about creative governance. And then I kind of fell into this whirlwind of just research, and I found this other book where it talked about that there's nothing new under the sun and not recreating the wheel. And so what I told, and I shared that with anybody, like if there's something that you can look at and say, that's where I want to be, that's where I see myself, there's a lot that you can learn from that. And I'm not saying to copy it, but understand that it took a level of intelligence to create that big of a platform. So if you're looking at a Kai Cenat, or you're looking at a Duke Dennis, the AMP juggernaut of we say the leaders of these this um influencers and the Twitch and doing those things, and those guys are doing record breaking numbers. You're looking at that. You have to look at that, and then you can structure what you're doing underneath that and create something that is equal to, or even greater than. And so that was my pep talk that I gave to him. And when we talked about it, it was probably in December, October of last year. And he started to employ some of the strategies, and we started talking about different ways to market himself. And he started to do it. I got him one of those PCs that's like a gaming PC, and gave it to him. And he was like, What do I have to do for this, Dad? Like, what?" I said, "Look, I said the only thing I ask you to do, and he'll tell you this if you ever get to talk to him, is I said, make me proud. I'm giving you something. And it's a $3,000 machine. I want you to take this thing and you need to make it be something. I mean, this is worth much more than $3,000 in the right hands. So I want you to
Right.
prove to me that you are. I'm putting this thing in the right hands, and you're going to show me what you can do with it. And I'll tell you, I want to say he started with, and that was just in November, 7,000. I think we might have been around 7 to 10,000. He's at 22,000 followers on Instagram.
Woo.
Um, he has he has his YouTube brand is growing. He has over 60,000 on TikTok. He has a viral video that did 20.2 million on Instagram. He just he so he did a video connecting himself to it was a Glorilla song that was, I don't know if you're familiar with Glorilla, the rapper Glorilla.
Yeah, we're familiar with him.
Awesome. Well, awesome. So I'll just say this: super down to earth. Um, I There's some artists that get big and they don't remember what it was like to have nothing, to
Right.
need that break. And one of the things I think that's going to continue to move her into different stratospheres is that she's somebody that I think has never forgot about, like, not having, like, she has the multi-million dollar deals. She has she signed to CMG. She's doing big things, but yet she still takes the time to reach back and help new artists, and help new content influencers. And I think that's one of the things that keeps her at the top. And I don't think she'll ever go anywhere as long as she keeps that mentality. She'll never go in there. She'll be one of those that sticks around, like Drake did at the top for a while, because I believe that's the superpower that Drake had, was to understand that there's energy in the new talent, and to not be afraid of the new talent, to embrace it and to integrate yourself with it. And that, so I said all of that to big her up, because she posted him on her story about a week ago. It was right before I went to Columbia for this last fight. And and uh and then she was coming to Dallas, and I'm big on being in the right place at the right time. I'm big on, I feel like, God doesn't make any mistakes. He puts things in God puts things right in your reach, but you got to do the work. You got to actually, um you got to get up and go get it. I feel like some people think that, they pray and they think, well, it's just gonna, it's gonna happen, and it will
It's just
happen.
gonna
But
come. It's just gonna come knocking.
yeah, no, but you gotta put in, you gotta actually get up and walk, like, go walk through that door, to put yourself in a position to get the blessing that you're supposed to get. And that's what I preach to him. That's what I preach to any young person that I'm mentoring. And so I told her, I said, she's coming. I said, so what do you need to do? I said, you need to position yourself to be in a place, because she posted you. So there's some recognition there. You got to position yourself to be in the place where she is. I said, they're gonna walk in with a big group. I said, look for the guy. I said, there's gonna be big guys around. All those guys are security guards. I said, look for the person that's well dressed, that's moving around, pay attention to the crowd, that seems to be in control of what's going on. I said, whether it looks like they're getting water. I said, there's somebody that if you find them that's busy, that's the person that if you can get next to that person, you can get next to her. And just that if you can get next to her, like I said, he had the viral video that he did that was organic, but like now it's about putting yourself in the presence of people that have the motion, and then being a professional. And that's one of the things that I preached to him. And sure enough, he said he had a dream. He said, "Dad, I think this is gonna happen for me. I had a dream. It's gonna happen." And so he shows up at the place just like we talked about. And man, I'll tell you, he sent me a video. I was getting on the plane, and it was him next to her with the video, like they're like rapping the song, but he's like with this superstar.
Wow.
And we're talking about just just last year in October, he had 7,000, like 7,000 followers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now here he is right next to her, and they're doing, and it's super organic. She just posted him a week before. Now you're next to her in Dallas. This is where, because I live in Dallas. Now we live in Dallas. You're in the city. You're next to her. That look was huge for him, and so and then there's another and it's all about using the content correctly too, because then he talked to her manager. I got in touch with the manager and thanked him for just, because we're professionals. We're gonna always reach out professionally and give flowers and appreciate the look. Because I think there's a lot of times people get looks and they could be disrespectful with how they I don't even think they mean to be disrespectful. It's just like it's almost like, well, I did this. I put myself here. And they don't realize like there should be some people that you're thanking, because there's a lot of different things or barriers that are in the way that if someone doesn't allow you to be there, you can't be there. And that moment was extra special for him. And I knew it for his career as a content creator. It's one of those moments that have really put him, I mean, in a different stratosphere. Now we're watching overnight his following is growing a thousand, it'll be 22.8. It'll probably, if I look at it now, maybe at 23,000, but it's been growing steadily since that, because you put that content out there, and as you flood the algorithm with info, it'll give back to you. And as I tell you, the algorithm's going to give back to you what you put into it. If you put hard work into the algorithm, it'll catch on to what you're doing, your right hashtags, the right connections. You can blow yourself up, and because the computer's not going to discriminate. And
Right.
so
And Derek, you let me cut in for a second. You hit a key point, and some people might be sleeping on it. And I just want them to go back, because you're dropping a lot of jewels, man. And I want them to pick them up. One of the
mhm,
things that you said is that you don't do things by yourself and things don't happen. Even the greatest shooters, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, they are great shooters. They shoot the ball alone, but they don't inbound the ball to themselves. They don't pass to themselves.
mhm,
Everybody needs somebody. They don't get their own water. They don't get their own towel. They don't call their own
mhm,
plays. Everybody needs somebody. They don't condition themselves. They have conditioning coaches. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Even though they're in the professional league. So everybody needs somebody. And the game is chess, not checkers. And every piece is integral, is important to the overall objective. You might say, oh, that's nothing. But where would you be without that piece?
mhm,
How effective would you be without that piece? Without your
mhm,
conditioning coach, without your meditation coach, without your nutritionist, how long or how effective will you be in that position? And like I
mhm,
tell the guys, I have a marketing firm and I deal with a lot of football players. And the first thing that I tell them when I meet them, who do you work for? And they say, I work for the National Football League. I said, that's a lie. They said, well, who do I work for? I said, you work for the Not For Long League. Not long from now, someone will be younger, quicker, stronger,
mhm,
and faster is going to get your job. And then you're going to continue to need people like me to make you money based on how good you used to be. So humble
mhm.
yourself. You don't know if it's one play, one season, 1 year, or 1 decade. We don't know. But seize the moment, but be humble. Because the toes you step on today are connected to the buttholes you're going to be kissing tomorrow. Humble.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
D, let me do this. Let me take a quick commercial break and we come back, and I'm gonna allow you to drop some more jewels, brother, because you're nailing a lot of nails on the head, and I appreciate it. We're gonna take a quick
For
break.
sure.
We'll be right back.
For sure.
GC Radio is giving away to some of its lucky listeners Beats by Dre earbuds. That's right. Beats by Dre Earbuds. It's no cost to its listeners to register. Just go to gcradiohub.com and enter the free raffle. So don't hesitate. Go to gcradiohub.com, click on the earbuds, register, and cross your fingers. Because you could be one of the lucky listeners. These earbuds are priced at $169, and you can win a pair for free. That's right, free of charge to you. Just enter the raffle at gcradiohub.com and stay tuned to our live broadcast, The Cousin Chief Show, Afro Beats with King Glow, Uncut After Dark with Freaky and Friends, the Mississippi King on the Southern Soul Superstar Station. Stay tuned to any of those live shows and listen out for your name being called. At GC Radio, you have to get connected to stay connected. At gcradiohub.com.
Back with more Scrubbery Magazine on Get Connected Radio. And once again, I have the legendary Derek Davis in the building. Derek is dropping a lot of jewels about the industry. He's being professional, what you need to do. Just a recap, if you just joining in for Scrubbery Magazine Live GC Radio content, Derek Davis is a scholar. He's a management team for professional boxers, influencers, and all that. And he's giving us a lot of knowledge. And he just dropped a bombshell of gems and jewels you can see. And things don't happen just because you think they happen. Things happen for a reason. And when they do happen, seize the moment. Make sure you got your stuff together and you're in position. You know, someone reached out to me today that's doing a new podcast cooking show and asked me to reach out to some celebrities to help her out. And I told her, do you have a one sheet? And she said, what's a one sheet? I said, go to Google, develop a one sheet and call me back. I'm not going to develop and introduce you and open a door for you. And then they asked me, where's a one sheet? And then I'm like, well, she ain't got one. And I said, well, dude, why are you wasting my time? Now, trying to help you, I'm harming myself because I know what you need to do. And if you don't know what you need to do, go try. If you're unable to do it, then I'll help you. But at least try first. You know, we need to make sure we know what we need to know. When someone tried to help us, you know, don't take it offensive like they're know-it-all or whatever. They know some things you don't understand. That when you get to a certain point, people are not going to look at you as a beginner or whatever. They're going to say, well, if you coming at me and you got your show, you should have your stuff together. And sometimes you don't get a second opportunity. It's a one-time shot. It's like, hey, I got it or I don't.
100% agree with that.
Cool. So we have Coach. Let me see if I can get Coach on stage.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me on.
You got it, bro. We got Darius coming in and enlightening us with a lot of gems and jewels. Can you let us know, Coach Leroy, let us know a little bit about you and what do you do and what do you have to add to the team and what we can look for from your part of Winter Circle.
Okay, so all right, well, thank you. My name is Coach Leroy. I'm a boxing coach. I'm the head coach of Man Down Boxing Gym in Memphis, Tennessee. Been coaching at Man Down for about a little over a year, but as a former fighter, I've dealt with other fighters in the past. I boxed myself. I've trained undefeated pros like D'Angelo Leachman, who was a multiple-time national champion, who's currently undefeated cruiserweight that I work with. I train Macro Hall, who's 10-1 right now, super middleweight, up and coming star. I also have amateurs in my sphere of influence. I have two national champions right now. I got one that's getting ready all of them are getting ready for Golden Gloves, but I got one that's getting ready for the USA Boxing National Championship. We're trying to get him on the Olympic team. And so I've been in the coaching realm, in the coaching sphere. I'm basically just the subject matter expert to, try to develop fighters the right way, get them the right sparring with the connections that I have from different gyms all over the country, and just try to put people in the right place. Obviously, I'd love to, work with Paige and try to get him together to the next level, and I want to be able to help and do what I can because I mean, obviously, like everybody else said, of all the fighters that I've worked with, I've seen that he has the most upside in his pro career, and just giving a little piece that I can give. Being part of a team of coaches would be great for me. Like kind of like a like how Terrence Crawford has it, where he has different trainers or he gets certain things from. I think I have a different philosophy that I bring to the table amongst other coaches in the country. I'm more focused on movement and defense and my attacks, smart attacks from the inside and outside, and making sure I find the right angles. And so a lot of that art is a lost art in today's boxing, especially USA boxing, and I hope to change that. We're also working on a program to bring Memphis back to the dominance of the local areas of boxing, i.e., like the Texas and New York and Detroit and Florida and California. I'm in a group with the other coaches from around Memphis to try to bring Memphis to the top, and we've done that within the year that we're working on that. I think we have about 7 national champions. We started out with 0. Now we have 7, and we're trying to just continue to rise and bring some of these guys. A couple of these guys, we think that we can get them on the Olympic team, and that'll put us up to prominence. So currently, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm a certified professional coach, licensed through USA Boxing with a silver certification. I'll be getting my gold certification this summer. I'm certified through the WBC University, taking courses on that. I'm just a student of the game at the end of the day, and I'm trying to learn from whoever, and I'm just trying to give my knowledge back to you. So that's pretty much what I bring to winning circle management.
Excellent, excellent. I posted a picture of me in the background. I'm very fortunate. I have a couple of belts, but I've never been in a ring outside We Fit. I used to be the marketing manager. I'll just keep it 100, man. I
It's
only
all good.
been in a ring on Refit, other than help putting them together. I used to be the marketing director for the American Boxing Federation and worked with the other couple of boxing entities, but actually getting in the ring, getting hit. No. Football, yes. Rugby, yes. Basketball, boxing, hell no. We fit on it.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Now I will
What
tell
that
you
man
this is some
say,
bravery.
hell no.
Yeah, it's some bravery getting into boxing, but if you look at the statistics, you're more likely to get injured in football than you are in boxing. There's a lot
Right.
more injuries in football than boxing. So I mean, you're doing a brave thing in boxing and football. You're actually doing a brave thing in football. So it's not too far away from your realm. I know that we're older now, but it could have been something that you could have took part of and could have done real good at.
So,
You never know.
now I'm not trying to be offensive, but you sound extremely
Oh no.
educated. I'm listening to what you're saying, and tell
Mhm.
me a little bit about your education and your other professions, like where you're working at right now.
So, okay, so obviously, I was a different dude. I grew up very poor. Obviously, my parents weren't high school graduates. They were products of the 80s. I'm a baby of the 80s, so my parents were addicted to drugs. So we grew up in the projects, a lot of different things like that. But I was really focused on school. I was a kid that was big and strong, but I was timid. And so I wasn't aggressive until I got to a point where I need to protect myself. So I went to the boxing gym, and when I got to the boxing gym, I actually was in a actually met up with a coach. His name was Tim Witherspoon. He was 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, and his brother Salim actually trained me, and I started boxing then from 10 on. And when I found out I was a real strong, I was a puncher, but I was always into school. So um, after I got out of the military, because I served in the military with there, we actually did several combat deployments. Boxed while I was in the military, but then when I got out, I boxed at series for several years. Was recruited to boxing college. Went to Penn State. That's where I learned. I got a degree in French, in Francophonic studies, business,
Whoa,
and
you got a
and some
degree in
Arabic.
French?
Yeah, I got a degree in French, but I was in a business program, and so I got my degree in French. But I finished the business, and then I actually didn't finish the business, but I took all the business courses and got the degree in French, and then also took Arabic as well. So I do speak French and Arabic. I'm learning Spanish now, but I'm just trying to get all that together now. on the flip side, I was fortunate enough to have boxed all over the world within my travels because I studied abroad in Paris. So I boxed in Paris, I boxed in Besançon, France. I actually boxed in Germany. I boxed in Italy for a while, and then I boxed in Qatar, where I was training with the Qatar national team. All the places that I've been, and even in Canada, because I did a couple of semesters in University du Quebec à Chicoutimi in Canada. So I boxed up there as well. So that was when I was there with, I don't know if you know a fighter by the name of Donna Stevenson. He was actually training in the gym up there. So I've been around the fight game, and I've gotten to see European styles. I've gotten to see American styles. I've gotten to see how Canadians fight. I've gotten to see how Latin Americans fight. And I try to steal whatever I can from these different countries and mesh it into my philosophy to try to get to where we need to be. So yeah, I do come with the education, but I try to teach my fighters it's not uncool to be smart. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be smart, especially in a boxing ring. You better be smart because you're going to get hurt if you don't.
Okay. Man, I would hate to fight you, bro, because no matter what language or geographical location, you could talk smack to them in their native tongue.
Yeah.
They would get the message and they get the skibbity paps.
Yeah, they're gonna get them both. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna get that. Definitely. But no, it's just about being smart and doing the right thing and making sure that you're, disciplined enough and having enough honor to carry yourself as a professional. And that's the most important thing. You're not going to be champion if you don't act like one. And a champion is a person who's humble, who works really, really hard and focused and always learning. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to be champion. You won't even be a pretty good fighter either. So.
I would like to say that you guys definitely know what you're doing, man. We know we've done some research over here, and we selected Page to be the front page of our first issue that we put out for Square Room Magazine. He has the front cover, the center fold article, and everything. And we saw a champion in our eyes, a diamond in the rough. And I see that you guys see the same thing. We'd like to see if we can bring some of your other influences and talent to the show. We'd love to have them on the K100 show and the Square Room Magazine platform. If you guys can bring them on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anytime. That's any way that we can get our fighters or anybody we're managing a platform, we're open to it. I mean, and our guys, hold on one second. Our guys understand the importance of showing up for that occasion, and they're all trained to go. And we look for that in the people we sign, honestly. And that's one of the things that I preach. And like said at the beginning, I think you have to be a complete package. Is either gone to the days that you can just be a master or whatever you do and just go home and
Right.
not talk to anyone and be a hermit. You have to be a social butterfly when you don't want to be a social butterfly, because that is how you network. That is how you get brand deals.
Derek, you want to know
Absolutely.
something funny? We started GC Radio as a single radio station about a year and a half ago, and we had 3 DJs, and we used to get frustrated because we look at our numbers, man. We only had 50 people today. Well, email and text all your friends. Go through your phone list. I don't care if it's 5,000. When you get
Absolutely.
and we kept doing that and emailing people, and I think at the end of the first year, we went to Atlanta to Southern Soul MG Awards show. Not only did we get Internet Radio Station of the Year, we also noticed that on our website, we went from 4,000 people to 70,000 people in a matter of like 6 months. And then at the end of the year, this year, we were 274,000 people, 132 different countries. And we said we can't wait to get to our radio. Now we can't wait to get to Exxon Radio and have our live feed. So we have accomplished so much. And we got on my talk show that we're on today. We just got it on our radio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts within a month. In a month, I'm number 244 on Apple Podcasts, number 17 in Ghana, number 14 in Kenya on Apple Podcasts, and the numbers are constantly growing. Because like you said earlier, you got to want it. It's not going to sit there and just knock on your door and you just let it in. And one of the things that propelled us is looking for new talent, like you got in Page, looking within ourselves and reinventing ourselves. And my crazy morning show, my crazy morning show is crazy, man. I say some of the craziest things. It's one of my wife and came in and smacked me with a frying pan. Some of the stuff that I say. Well, for starters, man, I tell people early in the morning, stop giving a pill a head and get out of bed. The first thing you got to do is wake up, because a dream with no implementation is a nightmare. You got to live the dream. You got to be the dream. You got to fulfill the dream, and you can't do it just dreaming.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's something about consistency, and what you're saying is that's the consistency, and that's what anything you do, whether it be boxing, whether it be creating content, whether it's just music, whatever you're doing, if you're consistent and you're disciplined, the world has to give back to you what you're putting out. That's just the way that it works. Consistency and hard work go hand in hand, and if you do anything consistently, there's gonna be a pay. You're gonna reap some reward.
Okay. Now, I hope I'm not out of bounds. I'm going to ask a question because I know Paige pretty well and I know John pretty well. How does John fit in the scheme of things at Winter Circle?
I'm glad you said. I'm glad because I was just gonna go there. So John is, and Coach Leroy kind of started to touch on it. John is the Hall of Famer. I mean, John is the guy with, when we talk about skin in the game, we're talking about somebody that has been around. I had the opportunity to spend some time with Nate Campbell when the last time we were in Columbia, well, at the top of the year,
Awesome
and all
guy.
this.
Awesome guy.
Awesome, yeah, awesome guy, great guy. I mean, that guy is a wealth of knowledge in himself. But John, he had nothing but great things to say about John, and then just being a student of the game, also a student of boxing, because I've been kind of around boxing too, for multiple years, or 20 plus years. Um, John has always been one of those staples. He's one of those guys that I mean, as a trainer, we were talking about the other day. I mean, you got Freddie Roach and you got John, you got uh, he's from Houston. You got Shields. There's that upper echelon of boxing trainers, the guys that are the goats of it. Bo Mac now is one of those ones that's up there. Reynoso, Eddie Reynoso. There's these elite guys, and John is of that. He's in that realm, but then he's like He's one of the grandfathers. He's one of the guys now that is like, as a Hall of Famer. He's at the very top, and so John is our he is, as for our trainers, like Coach Leroy is an up and coming trainer that's been all over the world and is no novice to this, but John has so much to give to him. Dana is another one of our trainers that is a part of the team, and there's so much that he can do, and so John is going to be able to have a team of trainers, kind of just like what you see with Terrence Crawford, Bomac, and with his training team, where they are extensions of what John is doing. They have their own things that they can do. They have their own. Of course, they bring their own skill set to the table. But then now you get the mentorship from a guy that's been in the game. I mean, it feels like since the beginning. Who's fought as a pro, who's the Hall of Fame trainer. I mean, you can't get a better teacher than John. John is like he's like the Yoda. He's the Yoda of the group. You know what I mean? Like and
Facts.
in all honesty,
Facts.
he just has he is of that level. And one of the cool thing I like about our group, and of course Lincoln, like Lincoln, another guy. Lincoln is so, um uh what's the word? He's humble. But Lincoln has connected us with so many people. His ability to network is, I mean, the things he's like, oh yeah, and he casually says, I know this person, or like, let's do a meeting with this person. He is on when I got Paige, and Lincoln is like I had no idea that his dad would be what he is. I knew he would be somebody great, but not like it's been amazing the things that we're going to be all able to do as a team. But yeah, but just kind of focus like on John, and yeah, John is that. And so we got that trifecta of trainers where John can, if John is working with Clarissa or working with one of his his top fighters, um, he can send Coach Leroy to New York to do whatever, or if he has a fighter that's overseas, he can send Dana overseas to be him, but also be Dana there, and work with the fighters that we have. And so it's just like I said, it's the thing came together. I just believe it's a God thing. I believe God put like-minded people together, with no egos, because nobody has an ego. One of the things that I think has been really cool about Lincoln, about Coach Leroy, Dana, John and John. If anybody can have an ego, John can. John has the resume. He can walk around with an ego. I mean, because he has the resume that says I can have an ego, and he doesn't. And so if John doesn't have,
Right.
no one should have an ego, and we all don't have egos, and we all see the value in everybody. And I think, to have a winning team, which the company is winning circle management, you have to have those things. You have to have like-minded individuals that know their role, that know how they add value, but also that respect each other, and we check our egos at the door.
Facts, facts. That's a winning combination, a great plan, and a dynamic team. We got Coach Leroy back, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry about that. It just cut off. I'm back on now.
All right. Where you at, Coach?
Actually at work. I'm actually at work putting the shift in. That's all. So in my
Okay.
day job, I'm a corporate executive at Nike. So I basically run a warehouse, and so I'm in charge of all what comes inbound, outbound for all Nike product. Pretty much all the launches, any sneaker that you buy online is going to come from my building. It's going to ship out to you.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
See, you never know. You never know who you run across. That's why you treat everybody with the ultimate respect. You never know. This gentleman's a Nike exec. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And like, I meet people every day, and when they find out that we own 11 radio stations, the platforms we're on, then they look at me totally different. But I'm still the same dude. I don't come on with a chip on my shoulder, because it was hard work getting that done, bro. Hard work. And I'm proud of our numbers, but
Right.
I want to keep our numbers. So I'm humbled to constantly challenge myself. And like, one of the things that I do, like Mr. Davis just said, believe it or not, after I do this interview, man, I'm going to watch it probably 10 times before I go to bed and look at ways I can do it better. So when I get your talent and get you back, it'll be way 10 times better than this one was.
Definitely. That's dope.
I'm never comfortable, never satisfied, man. And I want the best that I can bring out, because I want our people to stay tuned in. I don't want them to like, they don't do anything different. It's the same, or it's boring, And one of the things that we take pride in is we want you guys to come on, and this is probably one of the few platforms, and think about it, where you get to tell your story your way. I'm not telling your story, you telling your story, and we want all the positive. We don't want the negatives. We don't want the TMZ. We don't want the beef. We want the people to get to know you, your trials and tribulations, your obstacles, your hurdles, and how you got there, and what made you who you are, so you can get to be who you are in the corporate world. Who you are in the corporate world don't define you. That's the title you hold. Who you are is who you are, and how you got there is through how all that affected you through your life. And that's why where I asked you at the beginning, where you from, and what was life growing up, because I want the people to know you. I don't want to know your title on social media. I want them to get to know you. So now when they see you moving forward, watching this interview, like, I know him.
Exactly.
That's my goal. I want to say I know him. I can identify with him. Whatever. And when they see your jewels and gems that you drop, they will grab them up and go back and watch again, because they're like, I want to be like him. I know him. I know where he came from. It wasn't a silver spoon or red carpet laid out. This brother had to put in the work and told me what would need to be done. Let me go back and implement some of those tactics.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it is amazing and a pleasure to have you guys here. Man, I'm gonna have to have you guys to come back, man. You guys got to bring some of the social media talent and some of the boxers and athletes on. But you guys doing all this, man, I know you got some reality shows or something coming down the pipeline, brother. What's
Well, I'll
next?
tell you,
What can we expect?
So we've been working with Lincoln. One of the things that have probably been the focus, and I can't even really I can't expound on it too much. But it's big. It's how do I want to talk about it, but I can't. I want to talk about. I can't expound on it. But that is a
Okay.
big that's a big thing. I'm very excited about that, and we've been working on implementing that. And when Lincoln said it's cool to start to share that, we'll begin to share. Hopefully, we can come back and talk about what we're doing. That's really big. It's funny. I have a we have a good connection with the commissioner and some of the promoters out in Colombia. We've been uh, growing some of our talent out there, and that's like I said, that's when we met Paige. Medellin is uh, what I would call the Vegas of Latin America.
Uh-huh.
They have a very budding entertainment culture, um, good food, great venues, and the people there, they're a the culture is an outdoor walking culture. The people come out into the streets. They they're out walking. They're out. The restaurants are outside, and so boxing. You know, they have soccer. Soccer's really big there. Boxing is there. UFC is there. Well, I'll say mixed martial arts, not UFC. Mixed martial arts is there, but the people the cult they flock to events. They'll come, they'll support what you're doing if you put it out there. And so we have some big plans for out there. I have a videographer out there that I use that does all of our videos when we go out there, because we like to do everything professionally. I have a big card that we're planning to put on in June. And I've been talking to some other partners there, and I would like to put on, I would like to do like a reality type series of like fighters, different houses, and have those fighters fight. Uh, and kind of do like a and then I've been talking to one of the pros out there. We kind of bounced around with some ideas of like doing like a reality series where you have the fighters that are from Colombia, because I have some Colombian fighters too that I've signed, and then you have the fighters that come from other places in the world, and kind of putting on the fights and putting them against each other, but also showing their lives, kind of going back to the philosophy of like people falling in love with the person. And so showing their,
Right.
their trek to South America, maybe shooting for a month and getting content and kind of seeing where that goes. Like I said, we as a company, I'll tell you, um pivoting is important, and sometimes, and like I said, what I really want to talk about I can't talk about yet, but that has really intrigued me, and I think that would be the direction where we would go first. um because I mean, like I said, that's we got John locked into that. Lincoln is locked in, and of course myself, Coach Leroy, Dana. It's a way for us all to really come together as a group and as a team, as a collective, and do something really really big for the sport. Me and Coach Leroy, we bonded over boxing, and we're big on, people talk about the sport dying. Anything that we can do to make sure that the sport doesn't die, or anything that we can be a part of to make sure that the sport stays in the position that it's in, we're going to do that. And so, and that thing that I can't expound on the way I want to is, I believe that it's going to revive the sport of boxing. I believe it's going to put boxing
what
in a place that it's never been.
Okay, let me ask you this: what do you think about esports? You guys thinking about taking up some esports people, because that is starting to be a whole new phenomenon. Like high schools are having esports teams, colleges are giving scholarships for esports. And there's professional esports players that are making a ton of money. What do you think about that part of the game or segment?
No, I mean, any, AI technology, I mean, that's the future, right? You either got to get with the program, you're a blockbuster. That's what I always say. If Blockbuster would have pivoted and paid attention to what was happening, then I don't know if Netflix would have been able to exist. And so it's one of
Exactly.
those things where you have to get with the program. You have to know, you have to watch the trends and say, okay, if that's where it's going, there's some value in that. It's a skill set. You again, it's something you got to work at being good at. I'm all for it. I mean, I think it's the future. I got a 15-year-old that spends. I mean, I'm talking. He's. I didn't believe in it, but he was making money until I finally was making money. He's making money off of Fortnite. He was making money off of Fortnite. He take his allowance, and him and his friends get together and create a team and win some money, some real money. You know what I mean, on the game. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, I think you have to respect it. You got to respect where the trends are going, and you have to get with the times, especially as a management company. I will never look at something and say that doesn't work. I've seen things, you'd be surprised. Some of the things I've seen work, where you got there's there's sports that people create. I've seen this in Medellin. They create a sport using like it's not OnlyFans, but it's like an OnlyFans type platform where people subscribe to watch it, and they watch it round by round. They're paying
Right.
to watch it, and it's a created sport. Like literally, it was people that like they were like wrestling with their legs. But when I tell you that the bag at the end of like what they were doing, when they got all the content and put it out there, was a really really big bag. I was surprised. So I respect if there is a way to get to a bag of any sort, and someone says, "Look, what do this is the new thing." I'm the type of I will never say that's not going to work. I'm not going to be the
Look,
dinosaur.
D,
I'm going to say, let me look at
I'm
it and let's see.
I'm watching TV one day,
Hmm.
and to my surprise, I see two grown men in the front seat of a car with their seatbelt on.
Hmm.
They do a countdown, and then they start wrestling in the car, strangling each other with the seatbelt. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And this is a sport.
Yeah.
Wrestling, fighting in the car. I'm like, oh my! And they ain't a smart. They ain't no Benz or no kind of. They ain't like a little Toyota Corolla or
Yeah.
something. And they like barely moving and getting it in. And I'm like the commentator. I'm like, and he grabs the seatbelt. Oh, he has him in a chokehold. He has a buckle against the abdominal. I'm like, okay.
This is crazy. Look,
Never
people.
in my life.
It's funny you said that. There's a video, and this is another content thing. Blew my mind. There was a video of a tire rolling over things and crushing it. It'd be like a toy car. Then it'd be an egg. Then it'd be like a Lego. And it was like over and over again. Do you know that video gets hundreds and hundreds of millions of views? Um, I don't know who thought to do that, or why people are so interested in watching that happen over and over again. But it's a following. And so I always I will never look at anything and say that's dumb. Because when you look at the back end and you see the check that somebody's getting for doing something like that, it- you'll change your perspective real quick. You say, man, it's not that dumb. If they're able to create some type of revenue off of something that is that, pimple popping. You got people watching videos of pimples being popped and 50 million, 100 million views. I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun, but there's nothing there's, I mean, you can, I guess there's something that fits the personality of everybody. And the world is a big place and people are interested. And if you can capture a million people's attention, you can make $1 million.
And you speaking facts, brother. I'm sitting here laughing because not of what you're saying, but it brings back a memory. I remember back in the day when I used to work for VWR Scientific Products. They were competing against Baxter, and I used to get these laser pointers and play with them all the time. And my godbrother had a cat, and we used to point at the wall, and the cat would get pissed off because they're natural predators, and he'd get up and try to get the dot, and he'd jump against the wall and try to get the dot, and we'd turn it off, and the cat would get pissed off and start scratching the wall. He just pissed off. We just playing with the cat, having a great time. And then, like about a year later, we see somebody put a handle on a laser pointer and call it a mousinator. And it's a great way to exercise your pet. And sold 1 million of them. Like, man, we've been doing this.
Oh my God! I'm telling you,
we didn't think of the ability to. Hey, this is a great way to exercise your cat or your pet inside.
Market.
But they called it a mousinator and put a handle on it and sold millions of them, bro. I'm like, man, we've been doing this. Like, yeah, I know.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And just think, if you got 50 cents for everyone sold and you sold 1 million.
That's it. Yeah. And and it's that easy. And I've told what I've always told. I tell anybody, I say, when people look at different industries, and I look at business this way, they
Mhm.
whether it be real estate, anything, they say, they look at the top. You can reach for the top. You look at like a Sony, you look at an Apple, and you say, man, if I could just get to that, or you may say it's impossible for me to get to that level. And not to like take away from either of them brands, but like Panasonic, Hitachi, the owners, the CEOs of those brands own islands. Like they're not, they're in the game. So it's about getting in the game. You can't climb to the top unless you can get in the game. And if you're in the game, it's okay to be in the middle. You know what I mean? But you got to put something out there. You got to put it together.
Facts. So what I want to do, man, I want to bring everybody back on the stage real quick. We got Coach King back. We got Lincoln back in, and give them a chance to give their social media and where people can reach out to them at if they want to. Give them a chance to put that out there, and before we wrap this up. So Lincoln, would you like to offer your social media? Any words you want to say before we shut it down?
Sure. My social media is link_boxing. So LINC_boxing. No, I'm just glad I got you guys together. I think there's some collaboration that could happen too on some future things. So it was good to that you guys chatted.
Excellent. Thank you, Lincoln. And now we give Coach the opportunity. Coach Leroy, would you like to give your social media and final words to the people tuned in?
Yes, sir. Coach Leroy, that's Lee Starkey, LEESTARKY. On Instagram, just follow me on Instagram. You'll see the blue check. And follow me. I'll probably follow you back. But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to be here. Just willing to learn, do what's necessary, and take fighters to the next level, right? So if you have any questions or interest, just DM me directly, and we'll go from there.
Right on. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you. Gentleman and
Thank
scholar.
you.
Thank you for coming in. And last but not least, the one and only Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, can you give your social media for you and Winner Circle and let people know how they can follow and contact you as well?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram as Derek.Davis.2. And look for the circle, a winner circle management team. Follow the circle. Is a simple logo, but it's a logo that I hope that you guys will get to see. But you can follow me there. Follow Page, search it. Follow Lincoln, Coach Leroy, all the guys, Coach David Jackson. Yeah, we got big things on the horizon.
Man, I am so honored and proud to have you guys on the K100 show on Square Ring Magazine. And I am just overwhelmed, man, with the amount of jewels you dropped today, the knowledge, the experience that we have of a guest on this platform, and taking your personal time to let us monopolize part of your evening this afternoon, man. I want to thank you again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the pleasure's all ours too. We appreciate you for giving us a platform, and anytime you need anything, we're partners.
Yeah, bro. I really do. And so for those that are tuning in, it's time for my famous phrase. Here we go. I hope we leave you better than receive you, with a smile on your face and a grace wherever you may go. Thank y'all for tuning in. Your cousin Chief, Square Room Magazine, GC Radio, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.